Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Harry Muppet, and we are going to be casting the third game of the fourth quarter-final of the DreamHack Open Summer Tournament. Just get the page up on my other monitor. So it is going to be... on the bottom left side is going to be our red Protoss player, StarDust, from the My Insanity clan. And at the top right side, it is going to be our blue Zerg player, Hyun, and he is from the Quantic Gaming clan. And we've had an absolutely awesome set of two games from these two players. Now the first game, StarDust just went in there. He got some very nice economy up early. And he got, I think he got his third base up before the 10-minute mark, which is extremely fast for a Protoss player. He got out a lot of lings, and sorry, not a lot of lings, a lot of zealots and immortals, and he did some excellent force fields, and he managed to get the win there against Hyun. And Hyun came back in the second game with some really nice economy. He actually had started his third base at like the 5-minute mark, which is extremely early for a Zerg player. And yeah, went down and got a fourth base nice and quick as well. And StarDust tried to go in for a 7-gate off 2 bases. He saw the Zerg was going in crazy economy, so he tried to counter that with a 7-gate off 2 bases. Did not work. He managed to keep himself in the game for well into the mid-game with some Zealot Stalker with some Immortals and Sentries and stuff, but eventually the Zerg's macro, his economy just completely overwhelmed him, and finally he had to GG. But we are in the third game now, and whoever wins this ace match is going to go into the semi-final, and they will face off against Joe, Swedish player who won. Who did he win against? He won against Life. So Joe in the semi-finals, and we will be deciding his opponent for the semi-finals right here and now. We're going to see the Overlord coming in. I can only assume this is a Forge coming down. So there's going to be a fast Forge expand. The Forge is actually going down after the Nexus. Usually you'd see the Forge coming down before the Nexus, but coming down after the Nexus, so why not? So this is extremely fast expansion compared to the other games. The Zerg player just doing a normal expansion, and he's already got the spawning pool down, so that was a fast spawning pool before the hatchery came down, which allows him to get this queen up nice and fast. And yeah, allows him to get a bit more drones early on. Maybe it's debatable as to which one is better for your economy, getting the hatch and the spawning pool down at the same time, or getting the spawning pool down well before the second hatchery. But regardless, he's going to be in a very good position as soon as this hatchery comes down. That probe getting chased away, but managing to survive. And the Protoss player has seen this spawning pool, I assume. Oh, I don't want to try and switch views, because I think last time I did that, this display actually disappeared. It's another quirky thing about this interface, but yeah, we're just going to go ahead, and we're just going to, yeah... I think you can assume at this point that there's going to be a spawning pool there, so it really doesn't matter if the probe scouts it or not. But yeah, he did see it, and even if he didn't see it, he probably knows it's there. But there we go, we've got one gateway down. Got to get this cannon down as well, so he should be fine as far as scouting lings and drones are concerned. There are 2 lings coming out here. They should be able to take this probe down. It takes them quite a while to do the hits on it, but they will get a hit every 10 or so seconds. A probe might survive, but I'm going to bet that it's going to die. There we go. There's one more hit. And the Zealot coming out to save it. But excellent job. The Lings might have actually killed it, but they chose to run away. They didn't want to die. And yeah, the cannons would have wiped them off if the Zealot didn't. But a whole bunch of Lings coming out there. That's 6 total, and this Zealot has no chance anymore. He cannot outrun the Lings, so he is going to die. He's going to try and kill as many Lings as he can. Manages to get 2 Lings out with some excellent micro, choosing not to turn around and attack until the Lings with the low health were actually closest to him. So yeah, great job at getting those 2 Lings. But these 4 Lings managed to finish him off, and they are going to die if they come anywhere near this base because of that cannon. Stalker gets a stray shot, and they have to run away. What have we got going on? We've got a Robo. We've got gateway tech. We still don't have any additional gateways going down. So he's just teching up, and he's getting his economy out. As he should at this stage. He's not too worried about a force coming in. He knows the Zerg's playstyle is to go for very, very fast third base. So until the he's got another couple of minutes where he can just sit back, relax, and just macro up. But he's going to have to make sure his macro is in a good state around the 10-minute mark, because that is when the Zerg army could be very, very dangerous if he decides to make it so. We have seen a lot of players do a 10-11 minute roach push off 3 bases. It is extremely scary when you see that, when you see them all coming out. But yeah, I'm not sure. We haven't really seen too much roach use from Hyun. As I've said before, he's tended to favour Ultralisk in most of the games I've seen him, but the last couple of games in this series, he hasn't. We haven't really got far enough to get into the Ultralisk tech. It's been more decided in the mid game, so maybe this game will go a little bit longer. We might see some Ultralisk coming out on the field, which will prove quite a challenge for StarDust. And what have we got going on? We've got some more gateways, so he's definitely going in to start getting up an army. The Zerg, meanwhile, has got his third base already solidified, so he should be fine as far as his production capabilities are concerned. He's got a Roach nearly finished, Roach Warren, and the Infestation Pit coming down, and the Hydralisk Den. We've seen him do some great stuff with Hydralisk so far. I think one game he had Hydraling. That may have been the first game, if I remember correctly. He had a Hydraling going on, so that was awesome stuff. And the Protoss, once again, showing that he can get the upgrades up a lot faster than the Zerg player. The Zerg hasn't got any upgrades so far, apart from speed. I'm pretty sure he's got speed. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's pretty much a given. And the Protoss is going to have 2-1 very, very soon. So as far as the upgrades go, he is going to have the advantage, most definitely. He's starting to get the army up as well. He's got a bit of an army advantage, but then again, Hyun really hasn't been building an army at all. He's just been macroing up like a complete boss. He's got the work advantage now, 18 in the lead. The Terran is going to, the Protoss is going to close that gap over the coming minutes, and the Zerg is really not going to get much more than this. 70 is about what he needs to get. But meanwhile, while the Protoss is closing that worker gap, the Zerg is going to be building a large amount of forces, and we might see his army just start to explode here. But as long as the Protoss gets up here, starts building the workers out of here, he shouldn't be in any dangerous sort of territory. We saw the previous game, game number 2, he didn't get that third base. It was actually quite delayed. He didn't really get it until it was a bit too late, and by then the Zerg economy was in full swing and he had a massive amount of forces. Oh, this Overseer, just as Observer, the Overseer is the one chasing it, but that Observer is just going to get away, but he's heading in a bit of the wrong direction. He doesn't want to head up on this high ground. But of course the Overseer chasing it around knows exactly where it is. These guys are going to try and get around and hit it, or maybe they just want to get around and start actually attacking. Of course, this Observer's job is to make sure that he knows where the Zerg army is at all times. He's going to do a little bit of a dink there to get away from these Hydras. And meanwhile, there's a couple of Changelings coming in here, so yeah, these might run around, and the Protoss player might be fooled, but I'm guessing that he is not going to be fooled at all, and he's probably just going to kill them straight away. So there we go, going on. There we go, see, they died instantly, both of them, so very, very on the ball there from our Protoss player, and he has got quite a nice amount of forces. We saw this in game 1, this exact unit composition. Not very many Stalkers, but a lot of Zealots, Immortals, and Sentries, and we can see he's got legs up quite fast this game. The first game, he didn't really get it until he needed it, and start getting it until he needed it, and that was a bit of a delay, but he's going to get it finished off at the perfect time here for his push. But the Zerg player, man, has just been going absolutely nuts, and the army size is just completely over the top. But it is, and look at these Roach Hydras, man, he is just doing an absolutely fantastic job, and as long as he gets a good flank off on these forces, he should be fine. But there's not very many really open area. This is pretty open, but here, I mean, some nice force fields from the Protoss player. It's going to be a bit hard though, because you have to force field all this sort of area around there. So a lot of force fields, but we know that StarDust can do it if he needs to. He might be better off attacking up here, because he can force field off this area, do a really good job. Manages to yank the mothership core. That thing is going to go down. Don't know if the Protoss is actually going to attack here. Looks like he is. And you can see that is just an absolutely fantastic flank there. He's going to put down a whole bunch of force fields. He cuts off this front row of Roaches. Excellent job here. All these Roaches are going to get wiped out. and the Zerg player not able to get in range to start really taking out the sentries. They are taking a few of them out, but mostly it's the Zealots tanking the damage, which is an excellent job. Moving in here, taking out a lot of forces, and really good play from the Protoss there, just walling off those forces, doing an excellent job. And now he's going to move out, and he's going to start taking out this Zerg base. You can see that beautiful sentry use just completely evened out the army sizes there. And meanwhile, he's going to move up in there. He's going to be killing a lot of workers, and he's going to take this hatchery down. And the Zerg does have a bunch of lings. He doesn't want to attack at this point, but the Protoss player is going to force him to attack. He's going to move out with his workers, try and take these forces apart, yanks out the Immortals, and that is going to be really good because he can individually attack them. But the Zealots coming down from the third base, they took it out, and they're going to run in here. They're going to do all sorts of damage, and yeah, man, just doing an absolutely awesome job here. He's yanking the Immortal constantly out, but he doesn't have the DPS to actually kill them anymore. And really not much left for the Zerg player to do. I think he's pretty screwed at this point. He's lost his third base. And the Vipers yanking stuff all over, but it's not going to be enough. Zealot's just doing too much. The upgrades, 2-1 versus only 1. And these really early upgrades from StarDust really just helping so much in these games too, especially when he's just using Zealots and Sentries and Immortals all sharing the same upgrades. It's just such awesome play here. And what this is basically a GG, man. He's trying to do some stuff, but in the end it's just not going to be enough. The the Protoss player just has so much more economy right now. Is 56 versus 10, and I am still not sure why Hyun isn't just giving up the GG. Maybe he's fighting it out to the last, but yeah, maybe he's just maybe he's gone AFK or something like that. But we'll just wait and see. This guy's managed to do a bit of wipe out those forces, but he sees the reinforcing Archons coming in, and that is just StarDust saying, "Hell, I've won. Now I'm going to go for something crazy and just completely wipe you out." And yeah, just some excellent pressure play from StarDust. He got his economy up. He got that third base up nice and quick. Wasn't super quick, but it was definitely quick enough to get the forces out that he needed to. He had the upgrade advantage. He didn't have the worker advantage, but the sentries just doing an absolutely awesome job. And I mean, he was 80 army versus the Zerg's 120 army, but he had the position, he had the sentries, he cut the army in half, and when you cut the army in half, you're not facing 120, you're only facing 40, and he wiped out those 40, evened it up, and then he wiped out the rest. And just absolutely brilliant use of sentries, as in the first game, and in the second game to some degree, even though we lost that one. And really, sentries just have propelled StarDust into the semi-finals, where he will be facing Joe. And yes, it's going to be completely awesome. So that's going to be a PVT game, while the other semi-final is going to be Taeja versus Jaedong. Is going to be another TVZ game. So I look forward to casting these games, and I'm sure you guys are looking forward to seeing them. So they will be out very soon. Thank you very much for watching this game, and I will catch you guys later on. Actually, a bit of interesting info from the prize pool. The players who lost the quarterfinals, who came 5th to 8th, will get about $1,500 US. The players who get to once you're in the semi-final, are guaranteed $3,000 US. Even if you lose the semi-final, and then the first place and second place get 9 and 5 respectively for the prize pool. And unfortunately, if you didn't make it to the quarterfinal at all, I don't think you get anything. You get some points for the WCS, but yeah, you don't get any money, unfortunately. But that is fine. And yeah, very awesome play there. So thank you very much for this, and I will catch you guys in the semi-final of the DreamHack Open Summer 2013 tournament. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you guys there.